Council meeting number 1244, February 2nd, 2015. We'll call this meeting to order. Let us stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Burns. Cottle.
Here.
Herbie. Holt.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Lives.
Here.
Southall.
Here.
Is there a motion to excuse Councilman Burns and Herbie? Mr. Lives.
Yes, I move to excuse council members Herbie and Burns.
It's been moved and seconded that we will excuse council members Herbie and Burns. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those council members are excused. Next item on the agenda would be the minutes. You would all should have received your minutes in your packets. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. Item number 3 is presentations. I show no listed presentations for the evening. Does anyone else have any? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 4, communications from the public. This is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comment or questions. Council meetings will tape recorded for ease of transcriptions. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone from the public who wants to address council? Come on forward. Please come forward, sign in, and tell us who you are, please.
Good evening. My name is Denise Scratchen. I'm the manager of the Forest Park Library. We're located at 655 Waycross, the corner of Waycross and Sharon. Our phone number is 369-4478. I'd like to give that information out. I wanted to come and share some exciting things that are happening at the branch for the month of February. Some of the events are really interesting. We have a program this Saturday. It's called a Doodle Day, and it's part of the maker movement. And what I have here is actually a doodle pen. And I don't know if anybody's heard of the maker movement and how you can create these things with 3D printers and things like that. All the libraries received one of these. And basically what you do is you put like hard pieces of plastic in it and it heats up, and then you can create your own unique device. Wow. 3D devices. All the kids that come in the library are much better at using it than I am. So if I try to create something, it generally falls apart, but their creations are a lot better than mine. So that's this Saturday, February 7th from 2 to 3. You can call us to register, or you can register online if you'd like. We're also having a program on February 23rd. It's the Breath of Africana, and it's at 6 p.m., and Tori Wiggins is going to come and present and breathe life into some of the stories of African-American women who've impacted our country. And we also have another program that's a financial services program. That's the last Saturday of the month. That's at 12 o'clock. That's with Candace Dukes, and it's how money works. And for people who can't make it to that particular program, there will be another one in March. I also wanted to inform the community that a maker space was created at our main library. It opened on January the 26th, and I brought a list of some of the items that are there to share with the public. There's a mini maker space. You can make buttons and Ellison shapes, and there's a Crayola maker where you put these crayons in and you can create your own 3D device.
Well, it's time for us to come and play then.
Absolutely. You can start off Saturday at the branch if you'd like. There's a 3D printer downtown too. There's also a recording studio. So if anybody wants to be a one-hit wonder, now's your chance. There are stations where you can use computers, and they have special software. There are lots of things that they're there are lots of equipment there that you can use. There's a laser cutter and an engraver. There are sewing stations there. Now, that's at Main Library, and so there's a lot more maker equipment there. You can check out the website, cincinnatilibrary.org. You can also call 369-7890 to find out more information. But on the website, there's a list of all the equipment that's there. So we hope people come out to the library, and thanks for posting the flyers. Mrs. Huffman got some flyers from the branch and posted them here. I brought some more out, as well as our program calendar. Any questions? Yes.
And this is going to be when at your branch?
The Doodle Day, it's Saturday. The Saturday is 7th. It's at 2 o'clock. It's 2 to 3. And depending upon how many people show up, she'll have to, our teen librarian, she'll divide out the time available to use it.
Okay.
I want to
other
thank
questions?
your library for being very supportive of me and helping me successfully get through my bachelor's degree with a 3.85 GPA.
Congratulations.
It was your library that taught me how to do research in nursing, and I thank you for that. I go over to the library on Hamilton Avenue at least 2 days a week, and I really have a good time over there. And I was excited that I got the cookbook I wanted that's been on hold for a while, but I had frozen it and didn't know what that meant.
Oh, okay.
So they're very patient with me. But it's always busy over there, lots of things to do. And I remember we took our two sons to your library as they grew up through the summer and really did fun things. And you all had a great program on iPads, and you helped me a lot with my iPad when I got it. So thank you for everything that you all do, and thank you for your commitment and the staff's commitment.
Well, you're welcome. I appreciate the comments, and so do the staff and the library.
You're
Thank
awesome.
you. Thanks.
Mr. Lyles?
I just wanted to echo what Councilman Herbie said. Cottle said that I've used your facilities and had my kids and grandchildren, and it's beside finding it exciting. I'm amazed at how many things you can get for free. So from the standpoint of availability of items, and the bulletin board even is a treasure chest of all kinds of things going on. So I would agree that, it's a community asset to have you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your.
You know, one other thing is I don't think people realize that they can download music through the library. Is it Freegal?
Regal, absolutely.
And I've been able to do so much of that. I need the next step on how to take the next step to bring it in. It's hanging there, but I can't get it in. So they told me to come over. I could sign in, and they would help me with that when I had time. But I just didn't know so much was available. And then all the books on tape, CDs, DVDs, movies, and you just need a library card to take it and bring it back so you don't get fined. So.
There are streaming movies now, and the great thing about the downloadables, yes, is that there are Freegal movies, Freegal music, is that you don't get fines on any of that. You know, once your time expires with the download, it's just expired. There are also magazines that you can access.
Magazines are also downloadable too?
Yes, on certain apps like Zenio, the Nook, I believe. You can access magazines there as well, Flipster. So there are
I'll
lots
put
of
that on my
resources.
to-do list as well.
So come on out. We'll be happy to help you.
Thanks.
So we take people as they come. Sometimes they may have to wait a few minutes, but we're happy to help.
There's things to learn while one's waiting, so that's okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So glad you were here.
Thanks.
Any other question? I have one. Will you be getting any new playaways?
Well, actually, playaways, we're not getting as many playaways as we used to because the format isn't circulating quite as much. And we have a lot of electronic resources that people can access. However, there's always suggest a purchase. You can access that from our library page under books on that banner there. And then if you scroll down, you can suggest a purchase. That's for playaways, music CDs, DVDs, any of that. So if there's a particular title you want, please let me know.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Are there any other Anyone else from the public would like to address council? Okay, seeing no one coming forward, we will move on through the agenda. The next item on the agenda is reports of standing committees. The first of these standing committee reports would be Ways and Means Committee, Councilwoman Herbie, who is absent. Councilman Lyle, do you have a report from Councilwoman Herbie this evening?
No, sir. Thank you.
There's one item on the agenda for the work session on the 9th, and that would be fire fastening systems. You don't have anything to add, do you?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Next committee report is Community Development Committee, Mr. Burns, who's also absent. Does anyone have any report from that committee for Mr. Burns? Seeing no one, we have one item for the work session, that is an update on the mall for the work session on the 9th. Next committee is Law Committee, Councilwoman Cottle.
I have no report this evening, thank you.
Any questions for Councilwoman Cottle? Hearing none, Councilwoman Cottle, I have no items on the agenda for you for the work session on the 2nd. On the 9th, do you have any to add?
No, thanks.
Next committee report is Public Improvement and Facilities Committee, Mr. Southall.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 3 announcements I'd like to make. On January the 27th, 2015, staff and myself attended the first Suburb Coalition, and this is one of the agencies that of Hamilton County that assists the municipalities and community development. The other announcement I'd like to make has to do with the Senior Advisory Board will be meeting Friday of February 13th at 11:30 in the conference room 3B. At that time, they will be discussing the 2015 Black History Month program that they annually put on. And the program consists of African American memorabilia will be on display. Also, they will have a potluck luncheon at 12 noon. The other announcement is the Park and Recreation Commission will be meeting on Wednesday, February the 4th at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room B of the municipal building. And at that time, they will be discussing the upcoming 2015 Gospel Fest, which will be held Saturday, February 21st at 6 p.m. To 8 p.m. at the Day Springs Church of God. The commission also will be discussing the upcoming season for other recreation such as tennis and spring soccer. That's the end of my report, Mr. Mayor, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
Any questions for Councilman Southall? Hearing none. Councilman Southall, I have no items on the agenda for you for the work session on the 9th. Do you have any to add?
No, I do not at this time, sir.
Next committee report is Public Safety Committee, Mr. Lives.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to again highlight, especially this time, the fire department puts these notices in their report, which are available to the public. And the one this time is on Burn Awareness Week, which is February 1st through the 7th. What interested me and what they sent was that scald burns are the most common injury for children ages 4 and under. And I was surprised to see how frequent these type of injuries occur. They do list in their report ways to prevent this. We had one in our neighborhood. It's been a few years back now, but a child got the handle of a container containing hot oil and dumped it, causing some serious burns. So it really does happen, and then you have to be extremely careful with things, especially on the stove that are heating. It says to put them on the back burner and turn the handle away from where the child could get it. So hopefully we won't have any of those problems. that would end my report unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Councilman Lives? Hearing none. Councilman Lives, I have no items on the agenda for you for the work session. Do you have any to add?
Not at this time, sir.
Okay.
Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to also mention, I'm still thinking about the library, but I had a resident in Forest Park ask about their intention of getting a high school diploma. They didn't have that opportunity. And the library does have a program to facilitate people to get their high school diplomas. And so I forwarded that over to the resident, and the person is going to start getting the help to finish his high school diploma, and he was really pleased with that. And I didn't know that that was available at the library either, but the resident was real pleased to do that.
That's good.
It's relatively new. It's Career Online. And Keith Armour is in charge of our Adult Learning Center. I do not have his number off of the top of my head. But if you were to call the library, we can put you in contact with him. I believe the last report was that there were about 38 people who are on track to receive their diploma through that source. And it's a really good program. I think there's been lots of great feedback about that.
Well, the
So, yes.
plus is when people are looking for a job, many times the mandate is at least a high school diploma.
Right,
So it gives those individuals an opportunity to apply for other jobs too.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next committee report is the Intergovernmental Relations and Communications Committee. That's my committee. I have only to report that the clerk of court has been working very hard to go through back records, and the purpose of this is for us to be able to clean out a lot of these stored boxes of paper that have been stored in the basement of the senior center, and she's done quite a job of that. She still has a few more to go, but that work is in progress, and it's definitely needed. That would end my report. I have no items on the agenda for the next work session. I'll answer any questions if there are any. Next item on the agenda is the mayor's report. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Before you
ma'am.
go to the mayor's report, I am here.
Yes.
Human Resource Committee, just for the record.
Did I?
I do not have a report.
I'm sorry, Councilman Holt. I do have, as a matter of fact, I checked off your name just as if though you did report, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. Would anybody have any questions for Councilwoman Holt? And you have no item for the agenda. Thank you. Next report is the mayor's report. The only thing I would report under the mayor's report is that the fire department, the council did pass a resolution to put the fire levy on the ballot on May 5th, and the fire department has begun to organize the fire fund levy committee. They've had two meetings, I believe. If any citizens are interested in working with them, please call the City Hall, 595-5200, or call the fire department. You can call the City Hall and get the fire department. But they are moving forward with it, and we will be hearing more about those committees and their activities as we move forward. And that would end my report. I'll answer any questions if there are any. Item number 7, the city manager's report. Mr. Hodges.
Thank you. I'll report two things. First, that the staff reports have been completed and included with the council packet. They've also been placed on file with the clerk of council for public inspection. Also, I'll report and for the record express our thanks to the law director who has been representing the city and working on our behalf with the mall owners and the city of Fairfield to try to work out some agreement as it relates to some of the very basic mechanical improvements that they have to make just to keep the facility operating. And it was referenced earlier that there is an item on the upcoming work session as mall update. That really is a reflection of the work that the law director and the staff have been doing. At some point, the law director may want to explain it further, but basically we have to execute an agreement to extend the time for the mall to make certain improvements under certain arrangements. And that agreement has to be executed by council, but the preliminary of it before you receive it is that there's been a lot of work to get to that point, to get the agreement pulled together. And it's one of the things that it appears that we're going to need to execute on the one hand. On the other hand, we would like to see a lot more progress with the mall, but this is sort of separate from the management and operation of the mall. This is the mechanical safety aspects of the mall.
Okay.
So that would conclude my report, but I would respond to any questions if there are any.
Thank you. Any questions for the city manager? Hearing none. Item number 8, other reports. First report on the others would be the law director, Mr. Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Regarding the mall agreement, the preliminary drafts have been circulated, so I would think that by next council meeting, it'll probably, hopefully be presented at that time. But the dates have been set, so there is movement, and as Mr. Hodges indicated, this doesn't really address development issues, it's safety issues under building violations that are being corrected at this time. That is the end of my report unless there are any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Wyckoff? Thank you very much, sir. Next report on the others, Clerk of Council, Mrs. Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance number 01-2015 and resolution numbers 02-2015 through 04-2015 were posted as required. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for Clerk of Council? Hearing none, thank you, Ms. Hoffman. Move to item number 9, new business. There are 3 resolutions under new business, and all of these resolutions must be read in full. We will start with the first resolution under new business, Resolution 05-2015. Would the clerk please read that resolution in full?
Resolution number 05-2015, amending the resolution setting rates of pay for civil and non-civil service employees. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, Section 1, that the salary table as set forth in resolution number 48-2014 reads as follows. Temporary and part-time, collection supervisor not to exceed $15.22 per hour, property maintenance specialist not to exceed $15.39 per hour, college interns not to exceed $16.20 per hour, firefighter EMT not to exceed $16.85 per hour, temporary and seasonal workers not to exceed $18.03 per hour, work alternative program supervisor not to exceed $18.10 per hour, firefighter paramedic not to exceed $18.46 per hour, clerical workers and specialists not to exceed $23.24 per hour, education specialists not to exceed $20.66 per hour, police officer not to exceed 21.37 cents per hour, seasonal snowplow drivers not to exceed $21.60 per hour, forensic technician not to exceed $26.27 per hour, temporary certified teacher not to exceed $27 per hour, assistant to the finance director not to exceed $40.60 per hour, senior building inspector not to exceed $53.48 per hour, chief probation officer not to exceed $8,022.80 per year. Is hereby amended to read, temporary and part-time collection supervisor not to exceed $15.52 per hour, property maintenance specialist not to exceed $15.69 per hour, college interns not to exceed $16.53 per hour, firefighter EMT not to exceed $17.19 per hour, temporary and seasonal workers not to exceed $18.39 per hour, work alternative program supervisor not to exceed $18.46 per hour, firefighter paramedic not to exceed $18.83 per hour, Clerical workers and specialists not to exceed $23.70 per hour. Education specialists not to exceed $21.07 per hour. Police officer not to exceed $21.80 per hour. Seasonal snow plow drivers not to exceed $22.03 per hour. Forensic technician not to exceed $26.80 per hour. Temporary certified teacher not to exceed $27.54 per hour. Senior construction project manager not to exceed $30 per hour. Assistant to the finance director not to exceed $41.41 per hour. Senior building inspector not to exceed $54.55 per hour. Chief probation officer not to exceed $8,388 per year. Section 2, the rates of compensation shall be effective January 1st, 2014 for all employees. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and take effect upon and after its passage.
Is there a motion, Mr. Lyles?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move for passage of resolution number 05-2015.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 05-2015. Is there any discussion, Mr. Lyles?
Thank you. As we heard earlier, this is an amendment to our salary resolution, adding the position of part-time senior construction project manager. This is to make that position available on an as-needed basis. In the long run, would save Forest Park quite a bit of money, because we would be doing this type of construction project management inside instead of having to pay outside construction companies. So I would ask for passage of this amendment to the resolution.
Any further discussions? Hearing none, would the clerk call the roll on resolution number 05-2015?
Cottle,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Lives,
Yes.
Sathal.
Yes.
Resolution 05-2015 passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda, item B, resolution number 06-2015. Would the clerk please read that resolution by title only? I'm
Resolution
sorry,
number.
in full.
Resolution number 06-2015, a resolution finding certain municipally owned property to be surplus property and accepting the proposal for the sale thereof. Whereas the City of Forest Park owns the real property located at 970 Harkin Drive, being all of Lot 796, Model City Subdivision, Section 8, Part 4, Block B, as recorded in the Plat Book 115, pages 3 and 4 of the Plat Records of the Hamilton County Recorder's Office. And whereas the City Council of the City of Forest Park has determined that said real property is no longer necessary, appropriate, or in the best interest of the City of Forest Park, that it retain title to said real estate, and that said estate is not required for the use of or profitable to the City of Forest Park. And whereas proposals to purchase and renovate the property were received and opened on Wednesday, January 14, 2015, and the proposals were tabulated as follows. Name SMB Management, amount $5,000. Name Rick Nayadu, amount $10,000. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, Section 1, that the real property located at 970 Harkin Drive, with all improvements thereof, shall be and the same is hereby declared to be surplus property and of no further use to the City of Forest Park. Section 2, that the proposal of Rick Nayadu for the purchase of the real property at 970 Harkin Drive is fair and equitable with the current market value of the real property and is hereby accepted. Section 3, that the city manager is hereby authorized and directed to enter into an agreement with Rick Nayadu as outlined in Exhibit A attached hereto and made a part of this resolution. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and take effect upon its passage.
The chair would move that we adopt resolution number 06-2015. Is that
Second.
been moved and second that we adopt resolution 06-2015. And as for discussion, this resolution that was included in our packet from Mr. Anderson and was recommendation that we concur with the city manager in waiving any form of bidding process and proceeding immediately with the sale of the surplus properties. And as a matter of record, we're handing these sales as two separate sales. The property, this first one being the property at the first one of these properties being at 970 Harkin Drive. And I would ask the council support the adoption of this resolution.
First one's 969.
Well, yeah, it says 970 on this one. This is backwards. This is 970. Yeah. This is 970 Harkin with the amount at $10,000. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk call the roll on resolution 06-2015?
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Lives,
Yes.
Southall,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
The resolution passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is item C, resolution 07-2015. Would the clerk please read that resolution in full?
Resolution number 07-2015. A resolution finding certain municipally owned property to be surplus property and accepting the proposal for the sale thereof. Whereas the City of Forest Park owns the real property located at 969 Harkin Drive, being all of Lot 806, Model City Subdivision, Section 8, Part 4, Block B, as recorded in Plat Book 115, pages 3 and 4 of the Plat Records of Hamilton County Recorder's Office. And whereas the City Council of the City of Forest Park has determined that said real property is no longer necessary, appropriate, or in the best interest of the City of Forest Park, that it retain title to said real estate, and that said estate is not required for the use of or profitable to the City of Forest Park, and whereas proposals to purchase and renovate the property were received and opened on Wednesday, January 14th, 2015, and the proposals were tabulated as follows. Name, Alvin Patterson, amount $0. Name, SNB Management, amount $10,000. Name, Rick Naidu, amount $20,000. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, Section 1, that the real property located at 969 Harkin Drive, with all improvements thereof, shall be, and the same is hereby declared to be surplus property and of no further use to the City of Forest Park. Section 2, that the proposal of Nick Naidu for the purchase of the real property at 969 Harkin Drive is fair and equitable with the current market value of the real property and is hereby accepted. Section 3, that the city manager is hereby authorized and directed to enter into an agreement with Rick Naidu, as outlined in Exhibit A attached hereto and made a part of this resolution. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and take effect upon its passage.
The chair would move the adoption of resolution 07-2015.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 07-2015. Discussion on the item. This resolution is the companion to 06-2015, where we're selling a property at 970 Harkin for the amount of, this one is $969, selling this one for the amount of $20,000. As the resolution stated, we find that these properties are of no further use to the city, and we feel like we're coming out ahead in disposing of these properties. one of the conditions of the sales of these properties is that these properties will be renovated, fully renovated according to our specifications, and that they will be sold to homeowners and not, for homeowner use and not as rentals. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk call the roll on Resolution 07-2015?
Johnson,
Yes.
Lives,
Yes.
Sathal,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Holt.
Yes.
Resolution 07-2015 passes 5-0. The next item on the agenda is item D is a motion. Mr. Lives.
Thank you. I move to concur with the Village of Green Hills appointment of Mr. Jonathan Palmer to the Community Programming Board and CPB Holdings for the term expiring 3/31/15.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we concur with the Village of Green Hills appointment of Mr. Jonathan Palmer to the Community Programming Board and CPB Holdings, Inc. for the term expiring 3/31/15. Is there any discussion? Mr. Lives.
Yes, this is normal with the communities that are part of the programming board. They simply ask us to concur in the appointment of this gentleman to the programming board.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Hearing no other business before the body, council meeting is adjourned.